Hey you guys, it's Nurse Abalori back with another video here at Nurse Abalori Budgets. And today I just want to talk about just a few things that I use that's helping me on my budgeting journey. And if you guys happen to hear the lawnmower, it's my neighbor. He is mowing his lawn, so please try to ignore the noise. Hopefully he's done. I don't hear it, so hopefully he's done. But today I wanted to come in and I want to just come and give you a few resources. I'm tongue-tied. A few resources that helps me in my budgeting journey. For those of you who don't know me, or you are new to me, or you are returning, I am Abalori. I am a board certified registered nurse of over 20 years. I've been in healthcare for 30 years, literally since I was like 14 or 15 years old. And that's all I've known. All I've ever did in life was healthcare, and I've dibbled and dabbled in different parts of nursing. But here lately, in the last couple of years, I have been more focusing on tech and finance. It is one of the issues where definitely we know nurses are underutilized, if not at all utilized. And I believe in what's going on today, this climate, it is imperative that we as nurses educate people in terms of finance, as well as up and coming new nurses about finance, because we all know, I'm just going to put it out there, I'm not going to be shy about it. Most nurses, we make a bag. We bring home a bag. It's nothing for us to go and pull, a 12-hour shift and make X amount of money. It's nothing for us to work overtime and make X amount of money just to be able to afford the luxuries in life. But here, and I would consider her my second half of life, because I am in my late 40s, I feel as though now I'm more focused on saving, investing, and planning for my retirement in the next couple of years. And it's no easy feat. Especially when you have been a person and you've just kind of been, mishandling your money, so to speak. And I wouldn't say mishandling as I was going out here just buying anything and everything willy-nilly. I just meant that had I known then what I know now, I would have invested more. I would have hung heavy into real estate. I would have just been more conscious of what will be happening later on in my life. But again, I'm not too young to make a start. I'm not too young to still make a big impact in my community as a person who is getting out of debt and who is also teaching others to get out of debt. I will say that the bulk of my debt did not come from me mishandling finances or spending milly-willy. A lot of my debt came through a divorce, being left holding, paying most of the debt, obviously. And then the other thing is, having a mortgage and then student loans. That is the other part of my debt that I just don't even dare to talk about, dare to touch, because we know student loans, unless God grants you a Hail Mary and you win the lottery, you probably won't pay it off. And again, some of us who have mortgages, we know a mortgage lasts at least 30 years. You'd be lucky if, some of us stay in our house for 20 of those years. But however, I am definitely focused on getting and eliminating any of the debt that I have now that is not pertaining towards my student loans as well as my mortgage. And so today I'm just going to give you a few things that I use when I am getting out of debt, or in my debt-free journey, I should say. And yes, I am part of the debt-free community. Even though I'm a little bit older than those who are in the FIRE community, I still follow the principles of financial independence, retiring early, as the FIRE movement. And so my goal in life is to of course, be financially independent, be able to travel, and I can't do these things if I am holding on to excess debt. And so I am working now to eliminate that debt and build me a cushy nest egg in addition to. And so today, again, we're going to just go over a few things that I think is vitally important for you to have when you are getting out of debt. Alrighty guys, I am getting started. Please know I am actually in my living room sitting on the floor. I just walked my dog, and so that is why I decided to just chill and record this video in my living room on the floor. And it is actually quite comfortable. It is actually quite comfortable. I don't sit in my living room long enough, but it is definitely quite comfortable. So we are going to get started. The first thing that I personally think that everybody needs when it comes to budgeting is, believe it or not, it is what I am recording on: your phone. Your phone. Your phone by far is probably going to be your best tool for getting out of debt. I have an Android. I have the Samsung Ultra Plus 23. It used to be the Note, but it's called the Samsung Ultra S23. Again, 22. I've got this in 22, so I have had this phone for 3 years. For me, this is the best investment that I have made as a person who is getting out of debt, because it has special features on the S23 Ultra that I absolutely love, and that's why I just can't go over to Apple or anything. It's no slight against Apple, but I am partial to Android. And one of the reasons why I am partial to my Android is because of course, the little stylet that's included in our phones. And as you can see, my screen is black, but I can write and take notes. So if the mood strikes me when I am thinking about something, or I'm speaking to someone, or I see a commercial, or something is jogging me that is pertaining to my debt-free journey, I will go ahead 9 times out of 10 and make a note of it on my phone right here, right there. This is called a blackboard for all intents and purposes. It's a blackboard that's built into the phone where we could just go ahead and jot a note without actually turning on our phone and going into the notes section of our phone. Actually, once you make that note, it automatically saves in your notes section, and you can pull it up at a later time and kind of go back and refresh to see, what it was. And so if I go into my notes section, if you can see here, this is where I made the squiggly, and it automatically saves into my notes section. But that is not the only feature that our phones are good for. Our phones also, as you know, have built-in calculators in them. So if you don't have a calculator readily next to you, in front of you, or whatever, you can always grab your phone and do your calculations on the phone. The second thing that I love about using our phones as a debt-free tool is the fact that if you're somebody like me, I have folders here in my phone, and within the folders are the apps. I can just tap on a folder, and here I have Sofi, PNC, and the Acorns app. I need to add Fundraise to that because that is my investment app. I can readily go in and look at my bank. Of course, most people know you can pull up your banking information. You can pull up your information if you are investing in the stock market, if you have any type of investment accounts. Pretty much are all now compatible with your phone. At the flick of your thumb, you type in your username and your passcode, you can get in and access your information. I personally use this a lot for when I am out spending. I like to see my transactions appear when I am paying for something. Like specifically yesterday, I used my Sofi account. I typically do not use my Sofi account a lot because that is my long-term savings, and that is my high yield savings account, and I also have a checking account next to it. There was something that I needed to buy. I did not want to necessarily use the cash that I have, so I just went and used my reserve. And so immediately as I swiped, I got the alert that X amount of money, it was $12 and some change, y'all. It was my dog food. I'm gonna be honest, I just did not want to use my cash. I just went and used my reserve. Call me crazy, but I just went on and used a few dollars out of my checking account to buy my dog food. I just don't want to give up the cash that I had. I didn't want to, and so I didn't. But as soon as I swiped and it said approved, I got an alert on my phone that said you spent $12.98 at PetSmart. And so that is important to me because it helps me keep a running total and a running balance, so that when I go and I reconcile the money that I've spent, I can readily see how much I spent on this day, and of course reconcile it with my paper version when I am doing my budgeting. So don't sleep on, most of us don't sleep on our phones. We usually have our phones with us 24/7, but don't sleep on the things that can make you money and can help you save and can help you get out of debt on your phone. Also, one of the things that helps me with staying out of debt is I put all of my bills are reconciled into one of the folders as well. And so I can go into PennyMac, which is my mortgage holder. I can go into Honda Corp, which is where my son's car note lies. And yes, we have a car note only because I bought my son a newer car when he graduated high school to get him through college. I did a whole video on that. So PennyMac, Honda Corp, Dominion Energy here, Columbia Power, Verizon. Those are the main, well, minus the car, those accounts are in my main budgeting category in that folder, because that is what I use to look at the balances of my monthly bills here in my home. So again, right there. So as I'm reconciling on paper, I am actually getting the real-time amount when I pull these things up on the phone or on the computer. But most times, most of us are not carrying our laptops and our tablets around with us, all the time. Most oftentimes than not, we're picking up our phones, we're on the go, we're out the door, and we're doing what we need to do. And so don't sleep on using your phone. The other thing about using your phone is my phone, I have a big old calendar set here. It is a Google calendar. I am a Google girly. Everything I do is connected to Google. All of my devices are connected to the Android platform. That is just how I operate. Most oftentimes I actually have two phones. One I'm recording on now. This is my main phone. And the one that I use is the S22. That is my backup phone. That is the phone where I do all of my recording, take pictures, social media, all of those things. That's just a preference for me. I don't like to load my personal phone up. But also, when I get alerts to this phone, it comes to the phone that I'm recording on, my S22. And then it also comes on my tablets. And I don't have it in front of me, but I also get alerts on my computer. Now, for some people, this is overkill. It really isn't overkill for me because at any given time, I'm not on all these devices at the same time. Typically, I'm usually on my two phones at any given time, because one I said is personal and the other one is strictly for social media. This is the one that has all the social media things on it. So get yourself a calendar, and again, I have an electronic calendar for when I am reading emails, I'm plugging in dates for travel, things that I need to do. I always put it on my Google Calendar, and then I transfer it to my planner. So the second thing that helps me get out of budget and stay out of budget during my debt-free journey is my planner. Now, again, I am a paper. I do use an electronic spreadsheet for budgeting, but however, I like to write things down. I like to visually see my work in progress. I'm just the person, when I started this budgeting journey, I started everything out on paper before I went electronic. And so here in my planner, I jot down different things. A lot of my planner is just for personal means, but however, I will include the dates that my bills need to be paid on my planner. My life is run by my planner, whether it's digital or paper. My life is absolutely ran completely off of my planner. And again, this just helps to ensure that I am staying focused and on track with my bill pay. I try to coincide this planner with my phone at least twice a week. So at the beginning of the week, Sunday and Monday, and towards like midweek, today is Wednesday. So between, let's just say, Thursday and Friday, I'm coinciding again, because believe it or not, things are due on the weekend. Bills are due on the weekend. Sometimes your bill date may fall on a weekend. I like to have it with me. If I travel, usually when I am traveling and I am sitting on the airplane, because I usually travel by plane a lot. If not plane, then secondly by the train, and then if not train, I am driving. But for the most part, when I'm traveling, I'm usually doing the sitting. I'm not usually the person that's driving or navigating. But however, one of the things that I do while I'm sitting, depending on how long my journey is, my destination is, I definitely pull out my planner. I'm usually working. I have my earbuds in. I'm usually, tapped into whatever I am doing in that particular space and time, because that's just how I do. When I am traveling, I use that travel time to be in business mode. I typically do not sleep unless it's an absolutely long flight or a long journey. I typically don't really sleep. And again, it also depends on what time I am leaving. And so definitely have your planner to coincide with your phone. The next thing that helps me get out of debt, you guys have seen it already, it is my tablet. Now on my tablet, again, this is an Android tablet, and nothing special about this tablet other than it definitely coincides with my phone, because they're all connected. What I can see on my phone, I can see on my tablet. What I can see on my tablet, I absolutely can see on my computer. That's just how I like to stay abreast on things that is happening. And again, if something dies, it needs to be recharged, I have a backup supply of it. But for me, the most important thing I would say about my tablet is my tablet mirrors my phone. So most of the apps that are on my tablet is on my phone, and vice versa. There are a few few apps on my tablet that is not necessarily on my phone, and that's again space wise. But tablets can be your best friend. You can pretty much do everything on this tablet that you can do on your phone. If for some reason your phone is charging and you need to know how much a certain bill is, when a bill is due, as long as you are linked to your accounts, you are able to see that. And most people know we can see that. But I think a tablet is underutilized when it comes to budgeting, because we just don't think of using it as a budgeting tool. But absolutely, if you don't want to download bigger apps on your phone for the sake of space, download them on your tablet. Again, you have the power to pick and choose what you're using on your phones and tablets. But for me, sometimes I may oftentimes have my phones and my tablet and my computer, all four actually going at the same time. And it's just because I be looking up different stuff. But don't sleep on the power of your tablet to help you get out of debt. It is definitely a necessary tool. And again, you don't have to go with the most expensive tablet for the sake of budgeting and saving money. You can actually do the same thing on a tablet that's less than $100, a tablet that's around $150, $200. It just all depends. We know that the Apple tablets and the Samsung tablets are a little bit more pricier on the other end, but you don't have to go full-blown $1,200 tablet to do what you need to do. The last two things that I have, it definitely helps me, and it's not two, it's actually three. It's actually a few things, and I don't say last two. But one of the things that I think is also underutilized is, and you guys guessed it, it is the paper method. Get old school paper and pen for when you need to plan out your bill pay. It's still gold. It is still a gold standard that you can use when you are in your debt-free journey. If you are not tech savvy, you don't want to be all logged into your phone, your tablet, your computer, whatever. You just like, all I need is to write down the things that I owe, the balances that I have on a piece of paper, and then I can call and get the balances over the phone. But however, I can write everything on a piece of paper. I am in the process of starting my May's budget. I just started listing my expenses yesterday, albeit I've only listed 5 because it was getting late and I wanted to meditate and read and pray before I went to bed. So I kind of started this at like 9 something. But old school paper, you can get a notebook like this. This is a Mead 5 section notebook. You don't have to go this expensive. I think this notebook's pretty expensive. It's like, I want to say $13 now, maybe around $13. You don't have to go this expensive. You can go to the dollar store, get you some paper and a pad, and be just as successful. The other thing that I have is I have been utilizing this book by my pastor here in Virginia Beach. His name is Pastor D.L. Williams, and he wrote a book about the 40-day financial fast. I love this book. In fact, it is something that I particularly refer to almost, if not every day, every other day. I've highlighted, I've read it several times. I've completed the 40-day challenge twice. I am actually getting ready to go in the midst of redoing this again, probably for the month of May. May is going to be a no spend for me, or as much as a no spend to low spend, because I do have to travel. So I'm planning that now so that I won't miss the mark come December. I won't miss the mark come May. I had something just flash on my phone and I was reading it. And so I definitely will link it here, but it's a 40-day financial fast, very easy to do. For 40 days, he walks you through a scripture a day of how to manage your money when it comes to pleasing God, doing right by the money, the funds that you have. If you're a person and you don't have a lot, this book walks you through how you can still honor God in your life, and getting out of debt just simply by giving it to God, praying, and be resourceful with what you have now versus what you're expecting for him to give you. So again, this is the 40-day financial fast by Pastor D.L. Williams, and I will link it on the video. Yes, I have Bible affirmations for women. This particular book, I will link it as well. It has scripture. It has scriptures and affirmations for the morning and for the evening / nighttime. And again, when it comes to getting out of debt free, you have to have a certain type of mental capability to do this. It is not easy. It is not for the meek. It is not for the mild. It's for those of us that are striving to live a debt-free life so that we can enjoy life and not have to be bogged down by debt. But today, more specifically, I will let you know that the scripture of passage was wrong thing. Oh, no, I'm not. It was from Psalms 37, chapter 37, verses 7 through 9. It is basically saying, be still in the presence of God. Wait on him. Do not worry. Do not fret. Do not even be jealous about the people that may be doing wrong. And I say may because we don't know what's going on in everyone's life. But for people that maybe, let's just say, spending money lavishly, or they don't have the best character, but they have a lot of the things that we wish we had. He is telling you basically, do not follow them, because life is going to take care of them. However, stay put, stay still, don't worry. Basically, your time is going to come. Do not turn away from God. Do not be tempted. Also, do not lose your temper. One of the things I'm probably going to do another video on is losing your temper only leads to harm. And sometimes when we can't get things, or we can't be in a position to get what everybody is getting because of our journey, we do get frustrated, we do get upset, we do want to lash out. We are emotional creatures. God built us this way. He has allowed us to be people that have emotions and feelings. So of course, if I'm seeing my neighbor get a brand new car and things, I cannot worry, I cannot fret, I cannot even be jealous, because at the end of the day, I don't know what this person has done to get this. I don't know. I don't know. So to be jealous of your neighbor or your friends or someone that you see on social media because they have something that you don't have, we don't ultimately know how these people got these things, and we don't know if they were honest about it. Did they do it in decency, or was that a lot of sneakiness and slideful behavior to get what they wanted? We don't know. And this is part of the reason why God encourages us not to be jealous and not to worry about what the next person has, because ultimately we don't know how they got it. And the last thing that helps me get out of debt, stay out of debt, is me journaling, you guys. Whether you want to believe it or not, journaling will help you. When I started this journey, albeit this debt-free journey was right at the beginning of my separation from my ex. It was right at the point when I absolutely knew that this was the end. We were done. There was no second, third, and fourth chances. Ultimately, our lives are gone in different directions, and that I knew ultimately that once he was gone out of the picture, I was basically going to be stuck taking care of the home that we shared, and also 2 kids, one in college, one school age. Well, 2 kids, one in college and one in middle school. I ultimately knew that at the end of the day, all the financial responsibilities were going to be on me. And in fact, all of the financial responsibilities have been on me. I did a video previously about getting out, paying over $3,000 in debt. I will tag it here somewhere. But that is it, you guys. We're at 28 minutes, and I want to thank you for joining me in this video. These are the tools that I am using to help get me out of debt, stay out of debt, and help me to control my finances. If you have any questions, any suggestions, put your thoughts, your comments, give me any feedback of any additional tools that you are using to help get yourself out of debt and get on your debt-free journey. And again, there's a whole lot of tools that I didn't mention. Like, we have a bunch of apps that help you with controlling your spending, such as Rocket Money Mortgage and Rocket Money. Those it's a gambit of apps out there, but I am just showing you what I use and how it works. You just have to get your mind together, get your strategy going, implement the things, the tools that you have been taught, that you know about. And if you need guidance, there's plenty of people here on YouTube to help you on your journey. So with that being said, you guys, we are right at the 29-minute mark. I am getting out of here, and I will see you in the next video. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, comment, and give me your feedback, and let me know what you're doing in your debt-free journey. Until then, bye.